In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, nestled along the shimmering banks of Lake Harmony, a storm was brewing in the summer of 2024. Some people wield power like a weapon, drunk on control, believing they can crush anyone who dares defy them. Clara Thompson was one such tyrant. When my wife, Emily, politely declined to join Clara's precious Maple Grove Homeowners Association, this unhinged woman unleashed a 3-week harassment campaign that cost us thousands, nearly shattered our reputation, and pushed us to the edge. The final blow? Clara called 911, claiming Emily was a dangerous criminal who needed to be locked up immediately. But Clara made one fatal mistake. She had no idea who Emily really was. It all began with Clara pounding on our door for the 3rd time that week, her face flushed with rage because Emily had committed the ultimate sin in her eyes, refusing to join the HOA. To Clara, this was akin to spitting on the sacred rules of her pristine little empire. She stood there, clutching a stack of HOA papers like they were holy scripture, her voice shrill enough to make the neighborhood dogs wince. "This is outrageous," she shrieked. "Every single resident has joined for 5 years. The $300 monthly fee ensures property values, community standards, and safety." I stood behind Emily, half expecting Clara to combust from sheer fury. But Emily? She just stood there, calm as a summer breeze, with a faint smile that seemed to mock Clara's meltdown. "We're not interested," Emily said, her tone polite but final, like a door gently closing. Clara's eyes twitched, and she spat out a veiled threat. "You'll see what happens to those who don't play by our rules." Then she stormed off, muttering about teaching lessons. I thought we'd just made a dangerous enemy, but Emily's serene expression told me she knew something I didn't. Within hours, the retaliation began. A citation arrived for a lawn violation, claiming our grass was a 1/4 inch too long, demanding $150 within 48 hours. I'd mowed that lawn myself the day before. It was pristine, like something out of a gardening magazine. But there it was, on official HOA letterhead, as if Clara had measured each blade with a ruler. I was baffled, but Emily just filed the notice away with a satisfied nod, like she was collecting puzzle pieces. "Why aren't you mad?" I asked, frustration creeping in. She shrugged, that enigmatic smile still there. "Just trust me, Tom. Let her keep going." I didn't know it then, but Emily had chosen this neighborhood for reasons far beyond its charming lake views. She'd been tracking Clara for months, investigating whispers of shady HOA dealings across nearby communities. Moving here wasn't random, it was a calculated move, and Emily was using her maiden name, Emily Carter, to keep her true identity hidden. The harassment escalated quickly. Citations poured in daily $100 for a Ms. Park car that was well within the lines, $75 for excessive noise from my evening jazz playlist at a volume barely audible outside. Clara even fined us for a tacky garden statue that was just a simple bird bath. By week's end, we were drowning in $500 worth of bogus fines. Neighbors started avoiding us, whispering as we passed. Our friend Jack, who lived across the street, pulled me aside one day, looking guilty. "Clara's telling everyone you're troublemakers," he said. "She's got the whole neighborhood scared." The isolation stung, but Emily remained unshaken, documenting every citation, making late-night calls on our porch, and snapping photos of each notice like a detective building a case. When I demanded answers, she'd only say, "Patience, Tom. It'll all make sense soon." By week 2, Clara's attacks grew vicious. Anonymous complaints about my music led to HOA security showing up at 7 p.m., acting like I was hosting a rave. Jack confided that no one he knew had complained Clara was making it all up. Then came a $200 fine for blocking the sidewalk, despite our car being perfectly parked. I was ready to confront Clara, but Emily stopped me. "Not yet," she said, her voice steady but her eyes sharp with purpose. The social shunning intensified. Neighbors crossed the street to avoid us, and Emily's coffee dates with local women dried up overnight. Clara had painted us as pariahs, warning everyone that associating with us would tank property values. I hit my breaking point one night, shouting at Emily in our kitchen. "She's ruining us. Why are you just sitting there?" For the first time, I saw her facade crack. She sat quietly on the porch afterward, staring into the distance, the weight of the isolation hitting her too. But what I didn't know was that Emily was running a far deeper game. She'd uncovered a scam. Every 6 months, the HOA charged $80,000 for landscaping upgrades done by Green Vista Solutions, owned by Clara's cousin. The real cost? Just $9,000. Clara was pocketing $71,000 twice a year, stealing from her own neighbors while preaching about community standards. The tension peaked in week 3 when Clara sent a mass email to all 250 Maple Grove residents, branding us dangerous threats who harassed children and skulked around at night. The lies cost me a $3,000 monthly writing contract when a client dropped me over the neighborhood drama. I was livid, but Emily, hands trembling slightly, promised, "Just 2 more days, Tom." Then came a lawyer's letter threatening a lawsuit for disrupting community harmony and demanding $6,000 in administrative costs. Eviction loomed if we didn't comply. Across the street, Jack saw Clara rehearsing phone calls late at night, her hands shaking as she checked the clock, clearly plotting something big. Meanwhile, Emily was preparing to dressing in sharp, unfamiliar clothes, meeting colleagues late at night, and organizing documents with military precision. She was listening to police radio chatter, legally, and had tipped off responding officers about a domestic complaint at our address. Everything was set for a Friday morning showdown. That morning, Emily sat at our kitchen table in a crisp uniform, sipping coffee like it was just another day. "Good morning, Sheriff Carter," I said, half joking, but her smile confirmed it. "1 hour, Tom. You'll see the end of this." At 8 a.m., Clara made her 911 call, claiming Emily was a violent, unstable threat who'd been seen with weapons. The recorded call was a masterclass in manipulation. She even invoked her city council status to demand immediate action. When Deputy Martinez arrived, Emily greeted him calmly. "Do you recognize me, Deputy?" she asked, pulling out a sheriff's badge that gleamed like a spotlight. Martinez's jaw dropped. "Sheriff Carter? From his swearing-in last month." Before I could process that my wife was the county sheriff, Clara stormed across our lawn, demanding Emily's arrest. The look on her face when she saw the badge was pure devastation. Her triumphant smirk melted into panic as she stammered, "But you're just a housewife." Emily took charge with chilling authority. "Mrs. Thompson, you filed a false police report against me," she said, her voice slicing through the morning air. Neighbors gathered, phones out, as Emily revealed Clara's scam to the crowd. $213,000 stolen through fake landscaping contracts, documented with invoices, bank records, and emails. The crowd erupted. Jack looked gut-punched. Others scrambled to check old HOA statements. Clara's world collapsed as backup units arrived, arresting her and her cousin's company associates. Bank accounts were frozen, assets seized, and Clara was led away in handcuffs, her reign of terror exposed on viral neighborhood videos. A month later, Clara faced the music, charges of fraud, false reporting, and tax evasion. She was sentenced to 4 years in jail, forced to repay every cent, and stripped of her council seat. Her house was foreclosed, her family cut ties, and her name became synonymous with disgrace. Maple Grove transformed under new leadership. Jack became HOA president, slashing fees by 45% and mandating transparency. Emily earned countywide acclaim, sparking audits that uncovered 3 more HOA scams. Our story inspired a book, The Sheriff Next Door, and state laws now bear Clara's name to prevent future fraud. As we sat on our porch, watching kids play freely, Emily said, "Justice doesn't need to shout. It just needs to show up." And show up she did, proving that the quietest people can bring down the mightiest tyrants. So what do you think? Was Emily's undercover deception fair play, or did she go too far? Should Clara have gotten a harsher punishment, or was her public ruin enough? Have you ever seen a bully's empire crumble? Drop a comment. Hit that like button if justice served cold makes you grin, and subscribe for more stories of everyday heroes striking back.